What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's well. I want to drop this quick video here to talk about you guys, you men, you males, you men, becoming the best versions of yourselves. Again, I want to talk about that. Make sure that you guys are maintaining this because there is a continuing, as we know, unfortunately, a continuing disagreement, misalignment, gender war that is going on here between the men and the women. And I want to remind you men, I want to remind you all to stay firm, strong. If you don't know who you are, to quickly figure that out, work towards that, and hold your ground, stand your ground, and be who you are, know who you are, and sometimes you got to fake it till you make it, but develop strength, intestinal fortitude, and all that. Let me play a couple of videos here for you guys so we can get a context of what I want to discuss here.
When you get to 40 and 50 and 60 and you're my age, I'll be 49 next month, you're not asking questions like, where did it go wrong? I'm telling you where it's going to go wrong, because the man that you want is not going to negotiate with you. So that's why you have to choose wisely. And that's why I say, ladies, do not waste your time, because you don't have time to waste. What Kevin said when asking these women, what did your mother teach you to do for a man? He said, it's to learn how to work with and for a man. So I am a woman of faith. I don't really talk about it, but even if you don't believe in the scripture, pick any book, pick any story, pick any religion. The man comes before the woman, and the woman is a helpmate. She is a support system. She makes life easier for him. She makes life more comfortable for him. She helps him achieve his goals.
Since when did dating become this crazy commitment that everyone is scared to acknowledge? Oh, we're just talking. No, we're not. We've been on several dates and maybe even slept together. We're talking? No. I talk to my neighbor. I talk to my coworker. We're dating. That doesn't mean you're my boyfriend. That doesn't mean I'm your girlfriend, but we are dating because we've been on dates. I think the talking stage ends on that first date because guess what? You're on a date, so you're dating. We make things so complicated, but we're dating. That doesn't mean you're tied down. My God, you act like the word dating is such an anchor, a shackle. No, you're still free to roam about, but we're dating. Let's be real.
All right, so I dropped those two videos there. So one lady was spot on. She said, what I really took away from that was the man that she's talking to the ladies, the man that you want is not going to negotiate. That man, that is a whole word. I'm so glad that this woman who understands it in her more mature years has really come to this realization. And that is something that if you can figure this out in your 20s and 30s as a man, become that man who is not willing to negotiate. Why aren't you willing to negotiate? Because you have your stuff together. Because you're on your A game. You have your pride, you have your education. And I'm not talking about formal collegiate education, although that would be great. I'm talking about you have your business, you read, you listen to audiobooks, positive podcasts, you are on your financial game, you listen to financial podcasts, investment podcasts, whatever. You have your certificates, whether it's driving trucks, barbershops, licenses, whatever you need. You're doing something, and because you have that, you are now in a place where you don't have to negotiate. You can ask for what you want, and if someone is not willing to meet you as a man there, if they're not willing to meet you as a man there, then we're in the right way here. Then you will be what is really desired, because we just talk about meeting people and acquiescing and growing together and all this, and that all sounds to a certain degree nice, and certainly I believe in growing together. But this idea of accommodation, being accommodating, of just acquiescing, kowtowing, bowing down. You shouldn't do that. I'm going to tell you that as a senior man, as an elder man, you shouldn't do that. It's not worth it. It's not going to work. She's not going to respect you if you become that nice guy who is accommodating, who doesn't speak his mind, who doesn't hold his ground. Do not negotiate. Do not negotiate. I'm going to tell you that. For my time and working in a very heavily male-dominated space in my police department, my time is working, not only with the officers I work with, but the situations that I went to, the calls that I answered, my education, my life experiences all told me and continuing to tell me. And here's a young lady, young lady, I'm going to call her a young lady, saying it. The man that you want, notice what she said, the man that you want. The man that you want, as a lady, she's telling all the ladies, the man that you want is not going to negotiate with you. So if you want that dude, he's that dude, that means he's got choices, he's got options, he's got his education, he's got money, he's got his house, he's able to travel, he's well read, he's knowledgeable. He's not going to negotiate. He's not going to negotiate. That's what she said. Now converse that with the other lady who's talking about, who's all up in the air. Are we dating? We might have slept together, this, that. Don't be that whiffly waffly type of dude who's just kind of going along to get along, dating, don't know what we're doing, and talking and this and that and up and down and where we at, and know what you're doing, know where you're at. And again, this is the confusion that's going on. She said we're dating. These titles and stuff, they get all confused. They mean different things to different people. You should make it plain, male or female. You should make it plain. Okay, we slept together. What are we doing? Where are we going? We've been on 3 dates. We've been on 5 dates. We've been seeing each other for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. What are we doing? You gotta make it plain. You gotta be plain. And if you don't know, and you're on the fence, you don't know, and you're seeing other people, and you're dating other people, and this and that. Are you dating? Are you courting? Are you dating with intention? What are you doing? That's too much negotiating right there. It's too much negotiating. And remember, the woman said, the man that you want is not gonna negotiate. Do not negotiate. Here's what I want. I'm looking for a wife. I'm looking for a girlfriend. I'm looking for somebody to do this for me, who's going to bring this to the table, who's going to do that. This is what I'm looking for. And if you don't have it, you don't have it. You ain't it, you ain't it. You don't like it? Okay. Listen, I wish you the best. I'm not going to sit here and play games, sit here beating around the bush. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But the most important thing I want to tell the man out there is to be that dude. You have to, as Anita says, you have to work on yourself. I agree with that. As a man, you got to work on yourself. You cannot rest until you achieve that level of status and success. So, work on yourself. Get in the gym. Eat right. Exercise. Listen, I just came from the grocery store, picking out some stuff. Lady helped me out some stuff, and she's like, I told her, listen, I don't eat that stuff. She's like, oh man, that's really great. I really wish I could do that. You can do it. People. My point in bringing up that story is people appreciate that. People appreciate a man of discipline. People appreciate a man who's on his game, who knows who he is, a man who's disciplined enough to hold his ground, whether it's eating, the way you eat, your exercise routine, your, you're going to school, achieving whatever, you're in barber school, truck driving school, whatever it is you're doing, right? Entering into the trade system, people will respect you because you have achieved a certain place in life or are working towards it. And it's never too late to work towards it. It's never too late to work towards it. So you should continue to work towards it. Each and every day, you should make up your mind and work towards what you're trying to achieve. Every single day. You should have a goal. You can write it down, put it on your phone, set a reminder, set an alarm, put it on a calendar, write it down, make it plain. Do it. And you're going to have bad days. You're going to have some quote unquote rainy days where you can't get things done. You don't feel like doing it. That don't mean you stop. Doesn't mean you stop. I told the story before when I was going to community college, right? There was a community college professor, one of the first classes, he's like, listen, you should never stop. Even if you got to slow down, you have a baby, he's talking to the whole class. You should never stop. You take one class at a time. You got to take the summer off. You have a death in the family. You should never stop. And I never stopped. Now I took some serious lengthy breaks in between, but you achieve it eventually. Another lady who's she's much older than I, and I went to church with her friend. Well, I was friends with her kids, still friends today. And she told me this a long time ago. She's like, in 5 years you'll be somewhere. Now you can be 5 years in that place you're going to be or doing whatever you're doing, but will you be 5 years with that degree? Will you be, or at least be closer to it? That really, and those two messages about slowly going, keep going, always resonated with me. Sometimes we overload ourselves. We overload ourselves. We try to get this thing. Oh man, we just gotta get out the way. So a lot of people, a lot of times they take, if a full load is 3 or 4 courses or something like that, they try to load it up and take 6 and 7. You're gonna burn yourself out. Talking about college, right? You're gonna burn yourself out, and then next thing you know, you stop. So just go slow and just take it, and just take the time, do it right, learn the expertise. You get a little extra time, take another class, and you can apply this principle to anything I'm talking about in life. Anything you want to do. Anything you want to do. So I just want to drop this to say, don't negotiate. Become the man, as you as a man, become the man who doesn't have to negotiate. I don't negotiate about stuff. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I like. Here's what I don't like. Here's this, that, and the other. And listen, I get into disagreements about this. I'm not saying everybody's going to believe in my philosophy, because I've had disagreements about this with other people who are relationship experts. I disagree with them about that. But I'm going to tell you right now, my life experience has told me something. As a man, not a male, but as a man, you have to stand in your square. And if you start talking about this and start doing that and start acquiescing and start accommodating and going against your principles, your standards, and giving a little inch and this, that, and the other, you'll be doing it forever. And listen, sometimes this may be an unpopular message, but it is what it is. I'm not saying that, if your woman wants to go to whatever she wants to do, it's fall right now, so she wants to go pumpkin, I don't know, pumpkin picking or whatever, right? You can't ever do that. I don't go pumpkin picking. Don't ask me to do that. I'm not saying to be an inflexible jerk like that. I'm not saying that. But I'm talking about your standards, what you're looking for. Well, you just gotta accept this and you gotta accept whatever. Nah. This world, this relationship world that we're living in is so crazy and so bizarre and so different from the time when I was growing up, that you don't have to, they're not willing to do it. They're willing to make videos, as I showed you, about dating and sleeping together and what are we doing this, or about being up in the air and this and that, and I got options, I got this, right? There was one video, I didn't clip it, right? You never know what's a skit, so you got to be careful about what you're consuming. But this one dude made a video about his girl. He caught her, she left her phone there. He calls the phone and it pops up on her phone as food date number 3 or foodie man or food guy number 3 or something like that. So whether it's a skit or not, this is what's going on. I'm going to tell you right now, you've heard my stories. I've some of the stuff that is going on, I've seen it and been through it myself. So you can't negotiate with these type of people. You can't if you're in a situation like that and she's trying to talk to you and you're sitting there listening to her talk about it, you're negotiating. You're food guy number 3? You gonna sit there and have a conversation about that? Nah, brother. You are then negotiating. You are you believe, or you're looking for a solid relationship, one-on-one relationship. She's talking about, oh, I got this guy or whatever. And, why do you need to do this? And why you need to know that? And why you need to know where I'm at? You're negotiating. I'm not going to negotiate. I'm not going to negotiate about that. Because this is not what I'm looking for. And you have enough intestinal fortitude. You have enough of everything else, all this good stuff in life, education, house. I don't need you. I don't need you for a place to live. I don't need your money. I don't need this. I don't need that from you. I'm looking for you to fill this particular role, whatever that is for you, for you. And given what we're trying to achieve, given what people are trying to achieve, you can, by achieve, I mean buy a house, start a family, whatever it is you want. If this person can't help you do that, then if you're living in an apartment, and maybe you just have to live in an apartment by yourself for the rest of your life. But whatever it is, because when you start to negotiate and start to erode away, I'm telling you, it erodes trust. It erodes trust. When you negotiate and go along and go against your standards, I'm saying it erodes trust and erodes respect. It erodes trust and it erodes respect. And once trust is gone, she don't trust you anymore, then she's going to try to make all the decisions. Once respect is gone, she's not going to look at you the same way. Sex is going to stop. She's not going to trust you to make decisions, financial decisions, right? So you got to be that dude who is in a place where he doesn't have to negotiate, because you have it together. That's my point. I'm not telling you to become a pig-headed snob who doesn't think he has to listen to people. But what I'm saying is, people squeezing through. What is it? What I'm saying is, because you have enough confidence in yourself to do what you need to do and be where you need to be, and it would be better for you to be alone. I'm getting text messages. It would be better for you to be alone than to be in a situation wherein you have to negotiate. That is my point. So I hope that made this as plain as possible. Become that dude. I'm not telling you to become a monster and don't think you don't have to listen to people and become arrogant and hold your nose up at people and all. I'm not saying that at all, or with your woman in particular. But I am saying be confident, be competent, know where you're going and how you're going to get there, and work on that and continue to work toward that and find someone who can get onto your schedule, your program, and work with you. Doesn't mean you shouldn't help her get to where she's going. There's a lot of talk about that as well. I'm not saying you should get with a competent woman, preferably an educated woman, a smart woman who can help you to build, who can help you with children, who is definitely an asset to your life. And she should be able to look at you and know that you are not going to be a detriment to her life. She's got to take care of you. She's got to pay your bills. She's got to do this because you're not a man. And ladies out there, get with those types of dudes who are on their game. Stop picking these bums. I could go on and on. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Hit me in the comments. Much love and peace.